Essaouira, Morocco. About 2015, 2016, on a visit there. The sand dunes were just being blown everywhere into the town, into the neighbouring village. And it looks like, I'm not sure if you can see over there, absolutely thousands upon thousands of pieces of brash were laid out onto the sands. I know, like they do down in Devon and Cornwall, in the sand dunes, the old Christmas trees can be laid out to stop the sand dunes moving. And on top of here, a dead hedge laid also along the sand dunes. In places the banks are coming up to 30 odd degrees angle, but retaining the sand from blowing across. In the past we've driven a quad bike along here and you're looking at about 10 kilometres long, but the retention is all the way along, right the way along the beach there, and the dunes, it seems to have suppressed the sand blowing into the towns and the neighbouring village. Even being a tourist here, I can still say I remember when this was all fields. Behind, more apartments going up, cranes going up. Not too sure if the locals are overly happy. As you can see here, as I say, the brash all stretching out. More cranes in the distance, a hedgerow, dead hedge obviously just stretching out in front there. Swinging on round, that's it, forefront of the Atlantic. So if and when they do have storms, that's steaming straight into this hedge line. In places in the past we have seen it has been knocked out completely, but the brash on the sand still serving its purpose. And I managed to get a couple of photos of just new saplings, new thorn bushes coming on up through. So hopefully that'll settle and retain it, just like the root system on riverbanks, etc. back home. Now, having walked down the beach 10 minutes or so, you can see the clear line, the tide line down in the bottom, maybe the last storm. The sand dune blown up against the dead hedge. You see the crest of the dune, and then dropping down yet again into the area that's been covered by thousands of bits of brash. I'm not sure if it's going to zoom in quick enough as you pan round and look into there, albeit very small. Growth is coming on up through where it's under protection from the hedge and the dune itself, and that'll encourage the growth and the stabilisation of the banks. I'm not sure if it'd be classed as long shore drift like we have at home, but certainly down to retaining the sand, ensuring that they don't lose their dunes on the coast of Essaouira. Knowing that the audio is getting a bit of a beating from the wind, Essaouira being very well known for its wind surfing, kite foiling, all those type of water sports. So I tried to drop down into the dunes here a bit, coming onto the brash side of it. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up or showing it well enough, but all the cut ends are all facing one way, predominantly into the prevailing winds. Obviously if you have the other way, you have a larger area for it to pick up and blow it around and completely defeating the object. But as I say, about 10 kilometres worth of the hedge. I'm going to guess 3-4 kilometres of dead hedging laid, or not dead hedging but brash laid out, just to stop the sand from blowing around. A massive undertaking it must have been, whether it was a big gang or somewhere like Morocco, maybe 2, maybe 3 people's job over a course of a year or however long. Not knowing whether it was done with quad bikes, donkeys, camels, tractor trailer, nothing at all. But quite an undertaking on the whole thing. Almost an update to the last little bit of film there. The local just come on over and was chatting. I asked about this, the hedge. He thinks about 2013-14 maybe 15 when this was done. And I asked her roughly how long, numbers of people. He thinks about 30 people doing the hedge, and it was 20 odd people, each with camels, dragging brash out across here. I say that the hedge runs on for potentially a good 10 kilometres. The brash not so much. This is more just to keep the local village and the town to suppress the sand there. But further on over in the distance you can see, I'm not sure, the lower line of what looks like growth. That's the hedge line stretching on round, but not so much brash covering the dune there. Out behind that is just dunes and then countryside, so obviously not so worried with the covering. But yeah, quite an undertaking.